So, you've signed up for the MSF or whatever your local motorcycle license course is called. It's not going to be just you there, so let's talk about all the other types of students you're probably going to meet. First, meet the dreamer. They're in class because they love James Dean, or they love the image of the Harley Rider, or Band of Brothers, or they just think motorcycles are cool and this is their midlife crisis. This is step one on their journey, and man, are they excited. A lifetime of motorcycling excitement lays ahead for this one. Way too committed and enthusiastic. They will be covered head to toe in brand new and very expensive brand name clothing. Despite having never ridden a motorcycle before, they've already forked out a small fortune for a shiny new one, fresh from the dealer. Every word in the course book is gospel, and they're following its teachings with unwavering devotion. The excitement dreamers feel can rub off on others, or they can be annoying. Even if they have zero coordination and struggle, they tend to be driven, so when things go wrong, they just keep going until they get it right. Honestly, these students can be the best to teach, unless they bring with them the pressured. And the pressure doesn't want to be there. And normally this is the wife or a girlfriend of an addicted rider, or the dreamer who just wants them to share their passion. Funnily enough, this can go either way. More often than not, the pressured is hiding that they despise the idea of riding, and they really want nothing to do with it, and they don't want to be here. They navigate the course with great difficulty, and there's a substantial likelihood that the experience may culminate in a shouting match that ends their relationship right there in the parking lot. Worst case is their negativity makes the class worse. They passively aggressively complain the entire time, and the fact this is happening will be totally missed by their partner. But occasionally they surprise everyone and they're total naturals. They take to riding like they were born for it, and they love every second. I assume they then dump whoever made them do the course and end up marrying their new bike. Now, allow me to introduce the professor. This individual has spent countless hours watching every available YouTube video about the course and already religiously follows 10 or 12 of the best online motorcycle channels. They know everything we're about to go through, already know what ACGAT means, probably have a book full of notes, and they just need to put everything they've read into practice. The good news is, once they get it, they get it. Though they can overthink everything, which actually means they totally struggle on the figure eight, because online you can find 3 or 4 better techniques to do that than what's taught during the course, but they all require reasonable skill and practice time that you're just not going to get in a weekend class. But honestly, with all the preparation and prior knowledge for an instructor, these are the best students. Now let's meet the Harley Rider, who's had 4 or 5 bikes over the last 20 years, and he's never had a license or insurance. He's been pulled over by the police 10 or 12 times and let off, but it turns out recently the police are cracking down, so he's decided it's time. This guy has the guts to rock up to the MSF course on his Harley. You would think this sort of person is rare, but frankly most classes have 2 or more of these. He has huge amounts of bad habits, but the course is all pretty easy, except for the figure eight, which he just can't do because he never has had to before. Let's talk about the Baby Squid, because here comes Speed Racer. Some young kid who's there for speed. When he does talk, which is rare, everything will be about going fast and how cool sports bikes are. They eagerly anticipate the day they can lean into a corner and touch their knees to the pavement, and they might even be found watching videos featuring bikers outrunning the police at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. You can spot the Baby Squid by their full-face helmet with a riot of colours that resemble the artwork of a 10-year-old armed with a box of paints. Throughout the class, instructors will repeatedly implore them to slow down, but they never will. However, a little extra speed is good for the figure eight, which they'll do the best out of all the other students. Pretty good chance he'll finance a leader bike and get in a major accident within 6 months, so don't get too attached. Best case scenario is that at some point they'll learn the hard way and survive, and they'll emerge as better riders. Enter Lost and Confused, a perplexing presence in the class who seems to have stumbled in accidentally from the street. Their very presence defies comprehension. It's a mystery while they're there, and they'll likely draw a blank if you were to ask. You can't even picture them on a bike. It just looks wrong. Also, they don't understand anything. The clutch will be a confusing mystery to them. They will fail everything in the final test. Well, except for the figure eight, which they'll do flawlessly, which will stun everyone there because they fell off the bike every other time they attempted it. I suspect they end up as scooter riders. Short and sweet. Teenagers are all naturals, and it takes them no time at all to figure it out. And like most teenagers, they are annoying as hell. They also have no fear, and even if they fall off, they just get back on and off they go. Unless you are actually one of them, or the teenager belongs to you, probably best to just ignore them. Lastly, meet the foreign student. Newly arrived from a country where they've been legally riding for years. However, the catch is that their motorcycle license didn't transfer, so now they're in a class with beginners. They will do literally everything perfectly, and even if they struggle with the language, in truth, they don't really need to be here. They're just jumping through the hoops they need to get their license. Well, that's the full cast of characters. Enjoy every one of them, and enjoy the class. And this video is just a bit of fun. It really doesn't matter why you want to ride, and that, after all, is everyone's goal. Put in the comments which one you were or will be, or if I missed someone. Me, I was totally the professor. The sun is shining. I'm going out for a ride.